Funny story. First time I met Brad,
Yeah.
it was actually at our soft opening of the brewery, and it was my first night bartending here, and I had not met any of the partners or owners or anything yet.
Yep. And
Brad comes up to the bar, and he's like, he orders his beer. I think it was a tray that night. You were drinking, and I'll have a tray. I was like, great, man. Do you have a tab going? It's $6. He's like, I'm Brad. I was like, cool, Brad. I'm Franz. It's $6. And he's like, I'm the head brewer here. I was like, oh God. I have to start working.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Fretboard Television. I'm Ceciilia Long. I'm the party girl. I do all the private event bookings here at the Board of Frets, the Fretboard Brewing Company. And we're here today with my old buddy, Brad Plank, and my newer buddy, Franz Diedling.
Hello.
Welcome. And I look forward to hearing all about Brad's influences, why he wanted to be where he is now in life.
How long have you guys known each other?
Jeez. So I like to do everything in Phish years, and my first Phish show was 25 years ago. In 2 days from now, and they just broadcasted it last night, which is really awesome. So I'm probably 25, probably about 27, 28 years I've known Cecilia now. Through Zach's husband with the high school. Through Cecilia's husband with the high school with her husband, Zach. Yeah. And we were really good friends in high school. We're still good friends now. And, drama. High school drama.
Oh.
Musicals. And
the drama.
LaSalle musicals and fun stuff.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes.
What do you know about Jesus and Nazareth? Was that your part?
That was my part. I was Caiaphas.
Oh, boy.
I got to stand on the scaffolding and use this crazy falsetto. Yeah. To try and mimic whoever Andrew Lloyd Webber picked to sing that role. Yeah.
We've known each other for way too long.
Right.
I remember when Zach and I first started dating, and I had bought a Toyota Tercel. I believe it was a 94 Toyota Tercel, and it had a crappy, factory radio. And of course, loving music and all of that, I had kind of hinted, it'd be nice to have a better radio, So for Christmas, one of the first years we were dating, he gave me this radio. And I'm like, well, this is great. How the heck am I going to get this installed in my car? Like, I knew nothing about this stuff. He's like, oh, no problem. My buddy Brad can do it for you. I'll call him and go over and he'll take care of it. So that's the first time I remember spending time just Brad and I talking, getting to know each other. He was installing my really super tight audio system into my 94 bumping Toyota.
I was a big audiophile back then. It was interesting. So I used to DJ as well.
Oh, yeah.
For a company called LP Productions. I'm pretty sure they're defunct by now. But we used to do, high school homecomings, proms, weddings. I mean, I don't know if we did any bar mitzvahs. I think we may have did one or two of those. But we used to do some Tuesday night place on the west side in Sailor Park called Roar's Tavern. And it was country night on Tuesdays. So they were doing some line dancing, things like that.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So speaking of beer and the journey that you guys, all the owners, decided to start, let's talk about how Fretboard Brewing became a reality for you and kind of what the path was that led you to where we are today.
Sure. Well, I guess I can go back to high school. Jim and Joe, we all went to high school together at LaSalle.
You guys were 21 in high school?
Yeah, no.
You started drinking together?
Yeah. I was drinking 14, 15. I was a mad dog and I don't know, cheap weed. Yeah. But
mad dog.
But so we were friends all throughout high school, and then Jim and Joe were in a band together called Only Other Thing with Cecilia's husband Zach at the time. And I always went and saw them play. You probably even recorded a show or two to help Jim out run sound or something like that occasionally. And then we remained friends throughout the years, through college time and things like that. And then kind of grew off when we started our careers off all in IT, which is interesting as well. Different facets of IT, but Joe was in IT sales. Jim and I were more on the operational side of IT. And then we rekindled as I was home brewing concurrently at the time. from a tree brewing or from a
tree
brewing
You were
from a brewing cooperative called the Treehouse Brewing Cooperative, and then
you brewed everything in a treehouse.
yeah, basically. So I started branching off and learning how to brew from them, and then started brewing on the side. And then after that, I was posting a lot of my brews on Facebook. Hey, I'm making all these home brews. Come over if you want to drink some. Blah blah blah. Starting to keg my own beer, which is great. And then Jim and Joe were home brewing a batch of beer. Asked me to come over. Went over to Joe's house, and then I believe it was S23 that we brewed that day. Then Joe used to brew that a lot. Like I said, he came over, Joe liked his crush was probably a little too tight, so he was extracting too much sugar, not to get too technical, but the more sugar you have, the higher your alcohol is going to be after you're done, after fermentation happens. So we made his beer was called S23 Ice, which is funny. Supposed to be a session IPA. It was just turned out to be like a 6.5%, 7% IPA.
I think Milwaukee's Best still makes an ice.
Beast
That's
Ice.
hilarious.
The Beast.
Everybody went platinum.
Icing it down.
Ouch.
Yeah. So, that homebrew day happened, and then I was still homebrewing on the side, and I was working at Kroger and IT still as well down the road here in Blue Ash. I got a call from, I believe it was Jim or Joe or both at the same time, said, hey, you want to come have lunch with us down at the Firehouse Grill down the street? So we did, and they pitched it to me like, hey, you want to start a brewery? And I'm like, yeah, I got to think about it, but yeah, it's kind of a big leap of faith, right? So, fast forward, I obviously committed to it. They committed as well, and here we are.
I bet a few beers were had over that conversation.
Of course.
Yeah.
Probably
What was Jamie's reaction?
Well, that's funny enough because I kind of toiled over it for about a week. I didn't want to do it because I'm like, what if it falls flat on its face? And what if we've got a family now? And, and then she's like, Brad, if you don't do this in 5 years from now, you're going to kick yourself in the ass wondering what if. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you're right. So just made the plunge.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dropped the salaries and went to the brewery.
Talk a little bit to us about what your main function or
Sure.
malfunction
Conjunction.
What's your function?
I am the head lead brewer here at Fretboard. You guys are aware of that. Actually, also an owner. And my role is essentially brewing beer. Now, it might sound generic, but all that entails is day-to-day operations of making beer, planning beer, getting the ingredients ready, ordering ingredients, daily checks on gravities, daily checks on infections, right? Daily taste tests to make sure something's not going awry or south on us, things like that. We put a lot of pride into our quality control on the back of the house, so the front of the house doesn't have to deal with I didn't see this come with a customer or multiple customers saying something's not right with this. And then,
well, speaking of quality control, should we do a quick little beer shot? I think.
Do a quick little. You need some more in your.
Yeah, I think you guys are a little low.
Let's top off.
Yeah, top those off.
Yeah.
While they're doing
I'm gonna do this
we are
Mitch-
drinking
Mitch
the
likes-
Vlad
he likes
Pilsner,
to share.
Yes.
the award-winning Vlad Pilsner at the World
Just
Beer
got a
Cup
baby.
2018. We can say it's the best Pilsner in the world.
Can for at least 2 more years.
It is.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So this is your favorite
Smoke
beer
meat.
to drink now. Has it always been Pilsners? Is your favorite style of beer?
No, I used to be IPA heavy, but even way back, going back to the 90s, late high school. I'm sure, I drank some Red Dogs. I drank Milwaukee's Best. I drank Budweiser's, Miller Lite
Boone's Farm.
Bombers for $2 at the old Salamonis back in the day. I mean, remember those? Yeah.
Your 22s.
Yeah, the big bombers. So, I started seeing Phish in 95, and that's kind of where I really got into import/craft beer. They're kind of synonymous for me back then because craft beer really wasn't a thing, except for maybe Fat Tire, right? But I used to drink a lot of Newcastle. I love the Newcastle Brown Ale. I love
That's a favorite of mine as well.
Heineken.
Yeah.
I love the skunky from it for some reason. I don't know why.
I couldn't get past
I know, a lot of
the
people
skunky on the
couldn't.
Heine.
I always just used to smell it, smell the bottle.
Yeah.
So it's
It has
such a great
nose to it.
That's what happens when you grow up sniffing glue, Franz. I used to just smell the bottle.
Yeah.
I used to just eat the booze.
Right.
Really.
Sammy Smith was another big fan favorite of mine. Their oatmeal stout, hands down, I think one of the best oatmeal stouts ever made in the world.
Yeah.
Their Teddy Porter is fantastic. I always look forward to their winter welcomes coming out. every season.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. They do a different artwork label, and it's just it's a lager, I believe. No, it's an ale. It is an ale. But it's just an easy drinker. It's got some very mild fall, winter flavors to it, which I really enjoy. But then it evolved. So this is the late 90s, mid to late 90s, and then probably in the 2000s. So I went from the import gamut to the craft beer gamut. And then I started off in heavy IPAs in the craft beer segment. And now I'm going to the lighter lager / Pilsner side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I've got a good question.
Yeah.
So if you could brew like a small batch, I know we run on large barrel systems, so it's, what your small batch is, 20 barrels.
20 barrels, yeah.
So if you had the opportunity to say, go in and do a small batch brew, say with your buddy from Better to Go with Andy over at Brink. Shout out to Brink. Shout out to McLeese.
What's up, McLeese?
Keeping it cool. What would be something that you would love to do a small batch of? What style?
A Berliner Weiss, which I really enjoy Berliner Weisses. They're right in the hot summer days. There's a little tartness to them, or maybe a lot of tartness, more tart than a Goza, but not as sour as a full-blown out sour ale. Right? It's kind of in the middle. So it's not the acidity that sometimes if I drink too many sours or too much of one sour, my tongue starts getting cracked from the acid that I'm drinking off of that just because of the low acidity on it. That's where you get the sour from.
Sour Patch Kids will do the same thing.
Same thing. Yep.
Same thing.
So, mango is probably one of my all-time favorite fruits. So a mango-infused Berliner Weiss, because you see a lot of them are doing raspberry. I think it does too. I'd like to try one out. There's breweries out there that do raspberries. They'll do like the darker fruits, but I've never seen one with a mango yet. It'd be interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. I'm calling you out, McLeese. Let's do a collab.
Oh, shout out to McLeese for the mango Berliner Weiss.
Yes.
That sounds
nice.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Or we're actually going to take just a little break now so that we can show our viewing audience about all the exciting events coming up this week at Fretboard Brewing Company. So hang tight. We'll be back.
Welcome back to Fretboard Live.
Or wait, what is this? Fretboard TV. Actually, also follow Fretboard Live.
Follow Fretboard Live as well to check out our music, which brings us into our next music segment of this interview. So, Brad, do I even have to ask who your favorite band is?
I don't know. Do you?
Don't know? Well, I think we already discussed it in the interview starting out because everything's in Phish years, right?
Right.
So tell us about your Phish obsession, sir.
I don't call it about obsession. I am obsessed, right? I'm not going to lie, but I also have a reggae obsession as well.
How many shows? How many
I have been to 43 Phish shows since 1995.
What's your favorite one?
Wow, the last one. Now,
the ones I can remember.
Yeah, I remember. I actually remember. I got to go to the Term Millennium down in Big Cypress in Florida. That was like a 4-day or 3-day festival. That was really cool. We were waiting for Y2K to happen, but we weren't connected, so we didn't care.
So I have a question then, because we know how much you love Phish. I want to know what your least favorite Phish song is.
Wow.
Like, can you actually put the pin on like one or two songs where you're like, those songs just miss it for me?
Yeah, there's a couple songs that I would say, this is a bathroom break at a concert, right? But I don't know. Waiting in Velvet Sea would probably be one of them.
Shut up. Clearly, Brad does not recall the fact that is the song that my husband and I danced together to at our wedding.
Sorry.
Completely.
I was just awesome.
You don't remember that Brad went on a bathroom break during that?
You knew that, and that's why you said that.
I'm just kidding.
Stinker.
But, that's a tough one. I mean, it all depends on the mood that you're in and at the time that they played at the show. I don't know. It's a tough question to answer.
Maybe Tweezer. That's for my friend Corbin out there. Corbin, if you're watching, I know you love that song. So we'll just talk about that one being terrible. So.
My son, Frankie, is going to be 9 the end of this month, and his favorite Phish song is Brother.
Yes.
And he will... So he will go through the whole guitar thing and then really get into the lyric. What's the lyric?
Whoa, somebody's jumping in a tub with your brother.
I mean, what? And this is, it's
cheesy lyrics, right? Cheesy
Frank's
lyrics.
like, yeah. What's this song about? Jumping in the tub with your brother.
That's funny.
So yeah, you really can't put Phish on one style of music because they really play almost all styles of music, and I think that's what attracted me to most of them. They've done reggae, they've done bluegrass, they've done rock and roll, they've done jazz, they do blues, they do Zydeco, they do ska.
When is Trey gonna rap?
I think they had Jay-Z out 1 year on stage to do that for him in New York. They did.
You go.
Shaggy rap.
He kind of does a Gorillaz tune. Mm-hmm. They do. I forget the name of the song. I'm happy.
Clint Eastwood.
That's right.
So that's the Trey Anastasio band. Yeah,
that's Jennifer Hartswick.
Yeah. We've had here at the brewery twice.
Yes, phenomenal. Her and Nick
Casarino from Ends Power, who's also played here.
Yes,
love those guys.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
much love. Fabulous.
So it's interesting, yeah, and it's funny is like if people attach to the Grateful Dead, and then I was more into rap and hip hop in high school, and my group of friends was not, which was interesting. Everybody was into like
Garth Brooks,
country and rock and roll. Like I don't know, Steve Miller Band, definitely one of them. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like classic rock. I just wasn't into it as much as my friends were.
I felt the same way. It was like these songs. I've been listening to these songs for 30 years, and what else? What's new right now?
I was listening to like bleeding edge hip hop, like The Far Side, and like Rakim, and then Eric B. and Rakim, and then just
People
really
Under the Stairs.
Yeah, I mean, I just got a little gangster rap every now and then, some Ghetto Boys, and some things like that. But
some Onyx.
Yeah, oh my God, that's not. Do you remember the album from?
Who slams harder, Onyx or Vince Carter?
Who was the what was the movie Judgment Night? So it was like rap groups mixed with heavy metal bands in songs like Judgment Night, and then it was Onyx and Biohazard.
Oh God!
Did one of the songs together. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. I do.
Oh,
I do. I remember Biohazard. Lord.
It was interesting, but
the metal days.
Yeah, so I kind of grew up listening to that. I listened to a lot of R&B, like Luther Vandross a lot, and Ralph Gill and Johnny Tresvant. A lot of Prince. I am a huge closet Prince fan for sure.
I don't know. I wouldn't say closet.
Okay,
I think
I don't really hide my affinity for any music, right? But yeah, some show tunes here and there. But
yeah, we actually have Graffiti Bridge on tap right now, which is obviously a Prince album.
My favorite
inspired.
songs. Yes.
What's in that? It's a salted caramel stout.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
So obviously this love of music is it's got to spark.
Yeah,
I play guitar.
I had an uncle. I do play guitar. Real quick before I go into that. I had an uncle who passed away 97 or 98. His name was Uncle Richard. So I didn't grow up having any living grandparents. So he kind of took on that role for us, which was really awesome. And the one quote that he always told me, he said, "The richest house is poor without music." It's like so true, and it's one of the most awesome things anybody's ever told me, and it still resonates.
I like that
my whole life. So my head's a constant jukebox. I can't stop it. That I'll just randomly blurt out lyrics in the middle of the day. I feel like I got Tourette's sometimes, but yeah.
That's why Brad and I get along so well. Because we do the same thing. It's like an episode of Glee when we're hanging
it's all
out.
A reference to a song or a movie.
Yeah, it is.
Something. We were on the canning line yesterday, and I started in
with a bow wow wow yippee yo yippee yay, Ken and Rita in the house.
Yeah, it was serious.
I like the
I'm trying again, going back to my affinity for Phish. What they have done for me in my mind musically is and I was just talking to my wife about this last night. We were listening to the Phish show. They do this thing with developing a live song. It's called sustain and release, right? They build you up and they build you up, and then they leave you on that level, and then they build you up some more, and then they build you up some more, and they leave you on that level, and they just keep sustaining and then sustaining and sustaining, and then all of a sudden
they just go, and then all of a sudden you feel this emotionless pouring body.
Sounds
And that's what
kind
they do.
of
And then
like
Trey starts shredding, like, and it's whether it's triads, arpeggios, or whatever he's doing at that point in time, right? But
sounds a little bit like the Kama Sutra.
yes, yes.
I mean, I think he may have just had an orgasm.
Yeah, I feel like when Harry Met Sally, I'm at the restaurant scene.
Build you up and you bring you to this level.
The way I can best describe, what they do for me is they can literally take one song, pull every emotion on my body and put it up in this rubber band ball, twist it all up, pick it apart like this, and then beautifully lay it back down in your head again, make you feel so peaceful. It's the weirdest description I can ever give.
I like that. That's a good one. That's very good.
I think that might be one of the best things I've ever heard you say.
Yeah.
I mean, I love you.
Yeah, thanks. I love you
Hang it
too.
up, folks. We are all done.
Asking this question just always makes me think of my first concert. What was your very first concert that you ever went to?
So I have a twin brother and two older sisters. I think I was 11. My first concert was at Riverbend, and I got to go 2 consecutive years in a row with my 2 older sisters at the time. It was Huey Lewis and the News, 2 years in a row. And what a cool music experience, because I'm a sucker for a horn section as well. They had a horn section. It was awesome. I mean, back then they were kind of like, I don't know if they were like the top of the rock and roll, but pop wasn't really a thing back in the 80s, right? So it's like 88. I don't even remember. I think it was 88 because I was like 12 or something. I don't even remember.
So it was after all the Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes.
It's the power of love. Can you feel it?
Yeah. But yeah, that was my first concert I went to, was Huey Lewis and the News.
Nice.
Yeah.
You want to know what mine was?
What was it?
Milli Vanilli.
Love it.
Nice.
Milli Vanilli.
You
And
loved
I
it.
believe that Tone Loc and a female group called Seduction
Funky
opened up
Cold
for
Medina.
Nice.
Milli Vanilli. So
Yeah.
I do think we probably already know the answer to this, but I'm sure there could be some other answers. If you could have any 3 bands play on the Fretboard stage, who would they be besides Phish? Because we already know that you want Phish to play.
So honestly, this would precede Phish in a top 3 list. It would be Bob Marley, hands down. What that guy did with music and unifying people in a international stage light was phenomenal. And he just, what's awesome about him is his music has transcended his death. That style of music, reggae, which is another huge one that you guys probably come in when I'm brewing and hear reggae playing, right? I love reggae. That's music. I don't think that can withstand a test of any time and anything going on. It's just the music of love and peacefulness and togetherness, right? And kind of like buck the system a little bit. Yeah. You've got some of your militant ones out there. But Bob Marley would be one. Jeez. There's a band that I really want to get in here, and they're a European funk band. They're called the New Master Sound.
Oh yeah,
I would love to get them in here.
I've actually talked to their booking, and we're working on that. That's actually a very good possibility.
They're very good. And then obviously I can't say Phish. The Gray Boy All Stars.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So when you look at now Brad has 2 adorable little boys and a beautiful wife, Jamie. Your boys, Charlie and Ollie.
Yeah.
Are they starting to take interest in music or playing instruments?
Not instruments. So we did some or Santa did. It was a lower cost Amazon guitar to see if any of the 2 would take interest, and they really haven't. Although I've got a new electric guitar, a nice, awesome hollow body, which is like playing butter. But it sits in our basement, and then we moved all their toys to the basement. And I go down there one day, and that guitar or a ukulele was moved over on top of my guitar case, which makes me think one of the kids is checking it out and wanting to play like Daddy. I don't think they've taken an interest in wanting to play an instrument. Oliver, my older one, he likes to sing, and he loves, there's 3 Phish songs that he really loves.
What are his favorite Phish songs?
Blaze On, which is the one I did, I recorded ourselves doing that on my iPhone and then posted it to Facebook on a personal account. And he's got this biggest smile on his face. You can tell he's enjoying it. And there's another one called Stealing Time from the Faulty Plan, which is a newer, like 3-4-year-old Phish song. Can't remember the third one off the top of my head. But Charlie's more into, it's kind of interesting because he's kind of more into show tunes. So he's into the Descendants still, right?
Gotcha.
So it's kind of more like musical type things with villains and heroes and things like that. And then that's kind of interesting because it kind of takes me back to high school years when I was in, musicals and dramas, and then working at Forest View Gardens when we did,
God, I worked there too.
they were opera shows there, right?
Yeah.
Every month. So now the kids, we have Sirius XM radio. So there is a Phish channel, which I listen to on my personal when I'm driving, but there's a Kids Bop channel. The kids like Kids Bop. If you know what that is, if you don't,
I don't.
It's all the popular songs, pop, kind of light R&B, light hip hop songs out there. And there is these group of kids of 4, I believe, who tour around re-singing these songs, and then they record their own albums with them, and it gets, and the kids get to learn how to be a gold digger with an 8-year-old singing it. So it's interesting. Yeah.
Or like Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball, done by children. How appropriate.
Right. I mean, some of the song content they choose to play is really not appropriate for kids. Yeah.
Gosh.
I want it. I like it. I see it. I take it.
Oh.
I think we should.
All right, well,
Let's do some
I guess we're
freestyle
wrapping up here with our interview of Bradley Plank, head brewer here at Fretboard Brewing Company. As we
see, these guys are drinking more than me.
Probably favorite beer now, Vlad Pilsner, again the award winner.
Shoot it. Cheers.
Shooters.
Thank you both.
Oh,
Keep
right.
enjoy your love for music and beer.
Oh yeah. Brewsintune.
Mm-hmm.
Brewsintune.
Salud. Amazing.
Yeah, well,
I still think we should do a freestyle beatbox.
good. I will say this first. I'll say keep your eyes peeled open for the week 3 episode next week.
Oh yeah, who's it going to be? Who's next on the chopping block? Do we know?
Tell them, Brad. Who's next week?
I don't know.
It's Joe.
It's Joe.
We're going to be interviewing Joe next week.
I don't know who the two.
The infamous.
And it's going to be with
Chavez.
Jim and Louie.
Yes,
Nice.
Jim and Louis.
Holy
It'll
moly!
be a very
gonna be
interesting trio.
It will be a good time. So do not miss the next episode.
Yeah.
Thanks,
The
guys.
musical taste.
No. Everybody do a quick beatbox.
Much
One at a time. Take us out with the beatbox. Yeah.